this is the Motorola Razr 2020 review. So I'm going to start by letting you guys know the top 10 things that I've noticed with this phone, and then we're actually going to get into whether or not I recommend it, where I don't have a fully concrete answer. But the first thing that I noticed, in no particular order, would be the screen. Now, I said in my first impressions video that there really was no crease in this phone screen, which is true. With the Galaxy Fold, you've got an actual line in the middle of the screen. This guy has no line, I'll tell you that much. But the screen is still far from perfect. While the viewing angles are pretty good, in any sort of direct light, you're going to get all these weird green, colorful lines throughout the screen, just these horizontal lines. Like maybe you can even just see that right now as I twist it back and forth. The screen gets all weird and wonky when in certain lighting conditions. And that's just because of the nature of the plastic screen. But yeah, it's not great. I also discussed in the initial video how when you fold it, the screen actually kind of goes into the phone, which is definitely a nice feature, but I do wonder how that affects the durability of the phone. So yeah, the screen is pretty nice. I don't think it's gotten any worse since I started using it, but yeah, those are the main problems I've seen with it. But there's also one other thing. This screen has a lot of holes in it. Like, that may sound kind of weird, especially since this is just specific to my model problem, but there's a little green dot on the bottom of the screen, as well as around 5 or 6 little black dots on the left side, which of course is not going to be coming stock on every phone, but my phone particularly, I just noticed this has these little holes. They've been there since I got it, so I'm not sure exactly what happened to the phone that caused those holes. Maybe it dropped or something, or a little bit of adhesive came off the display. But yeah, that's just kind of a problem that I would never expect to see on something like an iPhone or a Samsung phone with a true glass screen. But yeah, moving on, let's talk about the camera. So the camera is pretty nice in that when you close it, you can give it a double shake, and then you've got a selfie camera that's as good as the back camera, because it is the back camera. That's pretty nice, but regardless, although you're getting the main camera as the selfie camera, which is definitely a good feature, this main camera is still definitely worse than the selfie camera on the iPhone 11 Pro or on the Samsung Galaxy S10 or whatever. So although I like to compare this guy to the Galaxy Fold and say it's better in almost every way, you have to keep in mind the Galaxy Fold at least has the nice cameras that come on Samsung Galaxy phones. This guy's camera is the same as what you're gonna find on a Motorola Play or a Moto Droid or one of those phones, which are fine, but they're $200. Again, you get a very nice selfie camera, considering it's the main camera that you can now take selfies with, but in and of itself, the camera's okay at best. It has 120 FPS slow motion, which is kind of nice in a time-lapse mode, and it's even got a faux portrait mode, but the portrait mode is pretty crappy to say the least. It's pretty similar to what you'd see on the original Google Pixel, but probably even worse. If you did a video comparing the Motorola Razr portrait mode to picture shot on an actual camera like we did with the iPhone 11 Pro, it would be no contest. You'd be able to tell the difference every single time. So the camera is definitely not a strong suit on this phone, and I didn't even think I would have to mention it, but the selfie camera, as in not this camera, just the selfie camera for when you've got it open, is absolutely atrocious. It feels like something you'd see on the iPhone 4S. Moving on to the third thing I've noticed, the speakers. The speakers on this guy are actually pretty nice. Because of the big chin, it's got room for a large speaker. But of course, it's still not that great because it's not stereo. When coming from an iPhone, I was used to hearing stereo sound. So again, it sounds nice, but it's not perfect. All right, moving on to number 4, the fingerprint sensor and Face ID, and just the passcodes in general. The Face ID is pretty nice. They don't call it Face ID. I think it may be like iris scanning, but you could probably fool it with a picture. So obviously not as secure as Apple's. It's got, of course, the pattern unlock that's on all Android phones, and then it's got a pretty nice fingerprint sensor, which, at least in my opinion, is faster than Touch ID ever was. Maybe this is just less secure, I don't know. And maybe my Touch ID on both of my phones that had Touch ID just sucked, but I've always hated Touch ID. It felt like it never worked, and this guy never seems to fail me, which is great. So for the 5th thing I've noticed, let's talk about the processor. I'm pretty sure this guy's running like an old Snapdragon processor, so it's really nothing new. Can you just stop? That's my head, too.
No, I'm keeping it.
Oh. So it's really nothing new, nothing nice. It's not what you're gonna find in, like, a Samsung Galaxy Fold. Again, I always like to compare it to... Again, I really like to compare it to the Samsung Galaxy Fold because they're just similar products, but that's another way where I didn't even really understand or realize the Samsung Galaxy Fold does have the edge. So yeah, this guy doesn't really feel slow, but doesn't really feel fast either. Stop! All right. On to number 6, the battery life. This is probably my least favorite part of the phone. In fact, it's actually dead right now if you couldn't tell. And this guy's got like some weird boot launcher software on there, and I don't know how that affects the battery life just because this is a prototype, but the battery on this thing is absolutely horrible. It charges kinda quickly, which I guess is kinda nice with USB-C, but once it's done charging, it will not last you the full day. If you start in the morning and use the phone as a regular phone, maybe up until 4 p.m., it'll die. You will not be able to make it through the day. It's by far the worst part of this phone. But how can you blame them? Like, seriously, you've got 2 separate batteries in this guy, one on the top, one on the bottom, which isn't that crazy. The iPhone 11 Pro has 2 separate batteries in that L shape, but look how thin it is. They can't make it that thick if they're going to be bending it, making it double the thickness, but look at that. There's no way they could fit a good battery in there. And it's not good. It's terrible. But of course, they have to power 2 screens. You've got the AMOLED screen on the back, and then the main screen, which is not AMOLED, but it's still another screen. It's actually bigger than a regular phone screen. So, for example, the 11 Pro has 1 screen, and that 1 screen is smaller than this screen, and then this also has the other screen. So this has way more for the battery to power. But then, this is the space you have to put the battery. This is all that they have to work with, and they have so much to run. So yeah, it's unfortunate, but it's terrible. So that's something I definitely hope they improve on in the Moto Razr Phone 2. Number 7 is something we talked about a bit in the first impressions, but something I've really started to appreciate, the hinge. This is something I actually really like. The hinge is great. It really feels like it's supposed to be folded. I feel like when you're folding some folding phones, especially if you watch videos of people folding it on foil, the Royale Flex Pi, I mean, it like makes noises, it sounds horrible, and while this guy, don't get me wrong, does make some noises when you're folding it, which kind of scare me, it just feels like it should be folded. Like, it doesn't really give you a lot of resistance. There are magnets to keep it closed, and it really gives you that satisfying feeling when you're opening and closing it, but it feels good. Now for number 8, this. The fact that when the phone is open, there is really nothing holding it together. When you're just kind of moving it around normally, you can hear that. The screen is moving, and the backs of the phones is hitting each other. And it sucks, because you don't want to have to worry about always holding the phone like this, holding it together. It feels like you're holding 2 pieces of paper together, instead of actually having one coherent phone. So when you're just using the phone on a regular basis, the phone screen is always going to be flipping back and forth, just like this. It's horrible. Number 9, the penultimate thing that I've noticed is the weight of this phone. It's not too heavy. I wouldn't say it's much more heavy than an iPhone 11 Pro, a regular Samsung Galaxy phone, but it's really disorienting. Like, if you put your fingers right here in the middle of the phone, it's gonna do this, versus with every other phone you've probably ever used, if you put your fingers in the middle of the phone, it balances perfectly, but not with this. So if you want it to balance perfectly, you would have to put your fingers there, which isn't that big of a deal, except that when you're holding the phone, it feels very bottom heavy. And if you were to hold the phone like this, say you were holding it upside down for whatever reason, it feels really easy to drop, like that, which was on purpose, but I'm glad I caught it. So it's not that big of a deal, but the chin is still really annoying. It's definitely not something I want to have there, and it messes up the weight distribution on the phone a lot. But finally, time for number 10, the price. It's $1,500 for this phone. So, as I asked in the last video, the question was, is it worth it? Is it worth paying $1,500 for a phone with subpar specs, but that folds? The new magical folding phone. And my conclusion is, drumroll please, no. My conclusion is definitely not. I would not pay $1,500 for this guy. Now, if this was around $500, I would consider it. It's got the specs of a $200 phone, period. But it's also got the folding aspect of it, which is worth a good $300, maybe $400 more dollars, because it's convenient. You can stick this guy in your pocket, you can walk around. I didn't even mention how nice this is. Like, I've kept this in my pocket for a full day before and barely even noticed it, because it's really half the real estate of a regular phone. So that's really, really nice. Again, I think that's awesome. But the specs are okay at best. If Samsung made a Galaxy phone that was exactly like this, as in folded vertically, and sold it, that would be incredible. If it had all the specs of the Galaxy Fold, but folded vertically, that would be the dream folding phone, at least in 2020. But as for right now, I wouldn't recommend this phone. The specs are just not good enough. But of course, before you go, we have to do the magic trick. So, here's something you could try at home. Won't work, but you could try it. Check this out. You're just gonna take one long piece of rope, just like this, and twist the ends together in a little loop, like that. Now watch. There you go. Now watch. If you just give the ends a little bit of a shake, they can get very soft. So soft, in fact, you can actually just pull the ends off the rope. And now you've got a rope with no ends. Not much you can do with it. If you want to put the ends back on, you can. You've got them right here. All you gotta do is just bring the inside to the outside and vice versa. And just like this, if you pull on the ends, they can melt back onto the rope. Just just like that. Now check this out. I can tie the ends together in a little double knot. Oh yeah, get a nice close up there. A double knot. There you go. Double it up. And a square knot like that. And really get it all nice and tied in there. Oh yeah, that looks so good. So good. Oh yeah, great knot. Just like that. And if you just give it a little bit of a snap, you can actually turn it into a magic sliding knot and just slide it down the rope. Now, Sam, you're gonna do me a favor, okay? I need to just tell me when to stop whenever you want, okay? We're gonna try and mix it into 2 ropes of exactly the same length. Sam's the one holding the camera, okay? Ready, Sam? Tell me when to stop whenever you want.
Stop.
Right there? Okay, cool. Thank you, Sam. And now we just need to cut the rope. So, just like that. We've got 2 ropes sewn, and it even landed on the mic just like that. You guys even see my face? Hi. Okay. All right. We'll untie just like this. And Sam, thank you for your help. We should have 2 ropes of exactly the same length. Close enough. Sam, it's okay. It's okay. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. It's my fault. See, I picked you. So, no, that's okay. It's okay. Sam, it's all right. It's not your fault. Because watch, all you gotta do is just bring the ends of the rope up to the top, just like this. Give it a snap, and you can start it all over again with 1 long piece. All right, guys, but it's okay. We're gonna keep going. We're gonna keep going. That's not what I'll do. I'll show you a trick. Check this out. You just fold the rope in half just like this. So you've got the middle over here and the ends over here. Now watch. All you've got to do is just bring one end in just like this. It travels through the hollow core of the rope and comes out on the other side. Check it out. We'll do it again. You bring one end in just like this. It travels through. And now the ends are where the middle used to be. The middle is where the ends used to be. Sometimes people are so amazed, they forget to clap. I can hear you clapping. You're clapping. You're going crazy behind your monitor. You're sitting on the toilet, taking a nice dump, watching me do my amazing rope tricks. But of course, this is where some people think I cheat. And I do. So, I would actually let you examine the rope. But here, why don't you hold on to it? Oh, there you go. You got the rope? Oh, I can see you're feeling it. Here, I've got another rope for you to hold on to. Oh, here, I've got another rope. Would you like to hold on to this one?
Yeah.
Here. Oh, I can see there's a lot of you guys now crowding around the phone watching me do that. I know, I can see you all crowding around the phone watching me do this trick. So here, you hold on to that piece over there. And you over there, hold on to that piece. Oh, yes, thank you. And you right there with the long piece. Can you just throw it back to me? Oh my god, that was so cool how I could do that right through the monitor. Incredible. And of you over there with the little piece. Can you throw me the little piece? Oh, why is he bending down? I don't know. Can you throw me the little piece? And the medium-sized piece. Oh my gosh, thank you guys so much. That was a real magic trick in itself. He was able to throw it to me through the monitor. But yeah, there you go. We've got 3 pieces of rope of different lengths. But watch, this is the best part. Because you bring the ends of the ropes up to the top, just like this, and give it a snap. You can actually create the illusion that the ropes are stretching. And you can stretch them until you've got 3 ropes, you can hear that, of exactly the same length. Just like that. If you want to bring it back, you can. All you've got to do is just bring the ends of the ropes up to the top, just like this, give it a snap, and you can start all over again with 1 little piece, 1 long piece, and of course 1 medium-sized piece. Just like that. If you did enjoy my trick, make sure to, what do I say? Man, we have to start all over again. If you did enjoy, make sure to ring my like button and subscribe to my bell. I always forget that because I will see you guys next time. I'm Jack. Peace out.